This is video 3 for the Garden Trowel Fusion 360 tutorials, and in this part we're going to be making a threaded end cap like you can see in front of you here, which is a small part with a knurled outside surface and a thread on the inside with a nice chamfer to the end to finish it off. This is quite a simple and fast part to make, but there are a few new techniques in here and some delicacies that we have to pay careful attention to. So we'll go ahead and start a new part and we'll save it straight away in the Garden Trowel folder, and this is going to be threaded end cap. Now, sticking the solid tools this time, we're going to create a sketch on the plan or top down plane with the circle tool using the central coordinate system. This is going to be quite handy for us, and 25mm diameter, and that is our sketch done. We're now going to extrude this 25mm up and done. We're going to add a chamfer, so modify chamfer, click on that outside edge and a distance of 5mm. Done. Now we're going to add a hole to the top here using the hole tool. Click on the surface and we want a threaded hole. Now normally when you look at the hole options here, you see this. We want to go across to tapped. We're going to choose size 8mm, so it gives us an M8 by 1.25, which is the same as the thread we put on our stem. Distance, we're going to go all the way through. Down the bottom, we're going to select modeled. Without it, we get the image of a thread, but it's just a hole. With modeled, it actually models the thread parts itself, showing us all the individual parts and actually modeling it in the model here. With regards to drawings and diagrams, unmodeled is fine. If you ever want to 3D print a thread, you need it modeled, otherwise you'll just come out with a hole. Reference, if we just select the outside circle, it's going to make it concentric. That means centralized within the circle. Press OK and that part's done. This is the most significant amount of work done, so we're going to press save because the next bit can get a little bit tricky. So now we're going to add the knurling around the outside. Now knurling is how we get extra grip on a metal part that's been turned. You can injection mold knurling on polymer parts as well, and we're going to apply this when we turn this on the lathe with the knurling tool, but we want to model it so it looks realistic. To do that, we go to create and we go to coil, and even through the sketch I can select that bottom surface and it wants me to draw a circle for the coil, so I can select the center of my coordinate system, which I know is the center of my part, out to the outside edge here, and you can see it automatically models it facing down. I'll click on the screen to allow me to move myself, and I'm going to move this up, and I want it to come, I'm going to go to 21mm. I want it to be 1mm higher than this chamfer line, because we've done a 5mm chamfer that went in 5mm and down 5mm for a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to bring this up to 21, so it's just that fraction higher. Now that looks very excessive for what we want. We don't want that many turns in this coil, and we don't want that much taken away. First off, we're going to reduce the section size. That's the size of the bit being cut away, to 1. We're going to change that section from circular to triangular internal. And revolutions, we're going to bring that down to 0.2. So it's just extruding, or just cutting, sorry, that small channel up there. And it's got cut on there, and press OK. I'm now going to select that, go to create and go to mirror. And it's got that object selected. In mirror plane, I can select that plane there in line with my central coordinate system. Again, another reason why it's very helpful to use the central coordinate system when we are drawing. We could insert a plane, that's fine, that's easy enough to do, but it's just an extra layer of complication we have to add. I can now press OK, and I've got a cut going in both directions. If I now select both of them by pressing one, holding shift and selecting the next one, I can go to create, down to pattern and circular pattern. It wants me to select an axis. I could again insert an axis using the construct options here, but if I select a circular part here, it will find the central axis of that. And now it wants another quantity, so I can adjust this manually here by going up and down, and this is how many times the pattern repeats itself around the axis. I'm just going to change this to 40 because I think 40 is going to be enough. And you can see there I've got a good amount of overlapping cuts in both directions. When I press OK, down in the bottom right hand corner section here of my screen, and you'll probably see it in yours, a little loading bar, green loading bar, showing that the computer making all the calculations required to make all of these cuts at once and keep them even. So keep an eye out for that. I've pressed OK now, and there you go, you can see mine calculating and building itself up there. This may take a moment, don't worry if it does. And there is mine. And you can see it looks like a knurled part. I've got that extra grip on there. The last thing to do is press the letter A for appearance. And I want to choose, we're not going to do this part in steel. We're going to do this part in aluminium. And let's find a nice satin aluminium. There we go. And done. And that is our threaded end cap finished. Save your work and good luck.